Hi folks, welcome to 8-Bit Retro Journal. Today I'm working with a new device that I bought, which is this thing. It's called a Greaseweazle, and it basically hooks to USB. Via USB, it hooks an old school floppy drive to your computer, and you can read all sorts of disks. I've already hooked it up. You basically have to hook the Greaseweazle to the drive, then power the Greaseweazle, and then power the drive in that order they claim. And I have a collection of disks you can see here. I've got, I've used it a little bit already on this drive, so I have some experience. I've used it on a 1.2 megabyte and 360K floppies. That's it. But today I wanted to kind of try various ones. I have my TRS 80 floppies. I've got Amiga floppy, Workbench, and I don't know, this seems to be a utility disk. I've got Macintosh, both high and low density, and I'll try one or the other. Also have a high density self-formatted. I've got a QL disk, which, see if I can work with that. And I've got Macintosh, high and low density. So I might not get to all of them. Oh, and I also have a Linux one, but I might not get to all of them, but let's just try a few of them. And so let me go to my PC to show you the software and how to install it. All right, let's do that. All right, I'm on my PC. So I have a Greaseweazle directory, and just to show you, it comes in. Greaseweazle comes in 32 and 64-bit format. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to get 64-bit to work on my 64-bit machines. I'm running Windows 7, so it's a little weird. Because I'm running Windows 7, I also have to use this piece of software, which is static, which is a driver. So when you plug Greaseweazle in, it's going to say driver is not found. So and I have two versions of it. This is for the XP, but you use this and you start it up, and you extract it. So let me go to the actual Greaseweazle. I got Zadig here, run it, and what it's going to come up as is, if you go list devices, you pick Greaseweazle. And this will actually come up the first time you install it automatically. But if it doesn't, you just say list devices, and then it'll find all the devices. And if Greaseweazle is plugged in, it'll show that. And then you got to pick the driver. And it's actually, and this is on the Greaseweazle's GitHub site. It's this, and you install it, and it'll take a little while, but then it says successfully installed. And once you have that, I've got Greaseweazle here, just extracted, nothing else. And the command is right here. And it's a command, you have to have a command shell going. I've got a shortcut of it here. And then I have this Flux, my fluffy floppy is a front end for Greaseweazle. I think Greaseweazle itself has a front end, but I saw someone using this and I like this better. So, and I've already have it open. And so when the first time you run it, it's going to actually come up with a dialog box saying, hey, where's Greaseweazle? And you have to find it again. It'll just take you to in here, and you just select it via a dialog box. And then you have to pick a COM, and Zadig will assign a COM port to it. So COM7, and then drive letter. So A is my 3.5, and B is my 5.25. Let's start with that. Let me go back to my desktop. All right, I'm going to try this one first, which is a 1.2 megabyte one. Again, I was successful with that, so go back to my PC. Okay, here you're going to choose read. The stuff I leave empty. I'm going to choose the format is going to be IBM 1200. That's about it I have to do here, and then here I have to choose a directory. I've already chosen desktop, and then I can just choose a file. I'm going to call it IBM 1200. And then the format is going to be image for IBM, right? IMG. There it is. And that's all you really need to do is once you have that, it gives you the command down here and what you would type on the command shell. So that's kind of cool. But if I say read, you'll see that it's reading it. And it's successfully read, and if I double click on this, since I do have an image mounter, you can see that it is WordPerfect. This is the one I've been using for some of my MS-DOS videos, and also it has, so this is a terminal program. Yep, that's cool. All right, the next one I want to read is a 360. Those took a little bit more doing to figure out how to do that. So here I had to select the cylinders of 039 and say step 2. And then it's still an image file and 360, sorry. So going back to my desktop, all right. Oops, take this out and try this one. So this is just a double-sided double density, which is 360. All right, going back to my PC. And again, this was the trick. It took me a while. I had to Google it, and somebody said, oh, step 2 and cylinders specify that. So if I click read, and it's going to go somewhat fast, but see it's working. And again, I'll fast forward over that. And you can see it worked. If I go here, it's got Emacs on it. That's what was on it. So that worked. So now I want to do the single-sided one, which I assume is 180. It still has 39 tracks. Steps 2. This one I'm having trouble with, so I'm going to do 180. I'm not going to go back to my desktop. Just assume that I'm taking the disk out, which you can hear right now, and putting in the Micro Pro Word. It's a WordStar disk 180. I've tried this already 360, but I believe it's a 181. But if I try that, it doesn't work. Give it a try. Read. It's going to go very fast. Actually, it's going to give error. Yeah, it's giving errors. So when it gives errors, then you know that you're in trouble. I don't know. I don't think it's, is it 80 tracks? No, it's not 80 tracks. Can I just leave the tracks off? Cannot leave the tracks off. Is it 39, but step 1? So again, it's one way to do this, just to do trial and error, but here's the thing. Yeah, so here's the thing that I kind of discovered, which is really weird. If I say 160, it actually works, but it's not 160, I don't believe. So watch this. If I go read, it works, but it works and it doesn't because the disk is blank. So I don't quite know what's going on here. So this one hasn't been successful, and it's going to be done here in a second, and you'll see that. So this is So this again, it should be 160 now, not at 180. But it's blank. Unless I can read it with. Okay. Yeah, no. So maybe the image program can't read it. Any idea? Is a single-sided 160? If a double-sided is 360 at a double density, I don't know why. There's no other choice here. So I don't know what else it would be. Obviously, there's a 320 as well. So yeah, couldn't get that to work. All right, let's go back to my desktop. Okay, what I want to try next is let's see if I can get the TRS. I'll try TRS DOS, and I haven't looked. Let's go back to the PC. So TRS DOS. I assume under Radio Shack for R, LMNP raw. Yeah. Well, that's all you get. So there's no Radio Shack. Yeah, I maybe you have to specify, and can we do raw? I don't know what raw 120 to 50 is. How do you do, can you just not select anything and just say, I know it's 79 tracks. I don't know what the step is. Let's do step 1. Can I just do that and just say, oh, what's the output format, I guess? That's the question. Does Radio Shack have anything? Oh, there is MSX. Okay. Will that work? Let's give it a try. Can I create DMK image files? Okay, so maybe, is there anything DMK in here? DMK. Yeah, so, you know, you do have to do a little bit of research, which I haven't done yet, so it's my own fault. But it says, can I create DMK image file? I don't know. Yeah, so I'll probably have to sort of search online for that, but oh, Tandy Dragon, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking just for Tandy. I mean, you'd imagine that people have done Tandy Radio Shack discs, but I don't see it here. I just saw the Tandy, was it Tandy or no, TRS-80 Tandy Dragon MSX. So that's a specific format. So yeah, I don't see it. Okay, so I can't do that. Let's try, all right, going back to my desktop. So I doubt, well, so I know we can do Amiga discs, so let's try the Amiga one next. So let's put the Amiga work in. So I've used that to boot. So back to my PC. Here now I need to select the A drive, and then Amiga DOS. And then here it's going to be ADF. And nothing here, I don't think. Should just work. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a read. Yeah, that works. And it's yeah, it's just Amiga DOS. Now the question is, as this is running, can I start Amiga emulator? Amiga WinUAE and start that up. All right, so we've got which configuration do I want to load? My A600-21 load, and then do I add a floppy, maybe DF1 so it doesn't auto boot, and oh, I guess I call it IBM ADF, so that's a little confusing. Should just be Amiga. All right, and so let's do Amiga ADF. Will this boot up? It's reading the hard disk, so that's a good sign. Okay, so opening it up. And am I going to get... Yeah, this is the hard disk. So this has got to be the floppy. Yep, that's the floppy. Well, that works. So this is my hard disk. This is the floppy. If I do F12 and if I eject, okay, yeah, so that worked. Look at that. Able to read ADF files. That's awesome. Cool. So that was pretty straightforward. let's try something else. Let's do the Mac next. All right, get back to my desktop. So I was able to read ADF files, so that was pretty straightforward. So again, if it has it in its config database, it's pretty simple. If you have to use sort of do the similar configuration, that gets a little trickier. So I'm going to try. I know that I've been successful in reading high density ones using my. I don't know if you can see it here or not, but there's a USB drive here, and I've been able to read these using my Mac emulator. I'm sorry, the high density ones, but not the low density ones. So let's see if I can do the low density ones. So I'm going to put Mac in here. Let's go back to my PC. All right, here then, what I want is Macintosh, Apple. Is it going to be under M for Mac? There it is. And it's a Mac 800, not 400. And then here, again, I should just say Mac. I'm going to look for, what file do I look for? Oh, I think it's going to be a DSK file, because that's what the emulator wants. Yeah, let's do a DSK file. I do recall Basilisk having that. Let's give that a try. Nothing else. Read the disk. All right, that works. While this is going, let me open up Basilisk. And now I'm going to browse to Mac DSK. Click Run. Gives you that, starts it up, and there it is, Norton, yeah, that's what it was, Norton 800K, look at that. So that works. Again, if I try to put that disk, I'm going to put that into my little USB floppy. Cancel, and now if I say check for floppies, see, it doesn't find it. It will find high densities, but it doesn't find the low density. Let's quit it again. Let's open up the config. Let's remove that and run. And this boots up pretty fast, which is nice. And again, check for floppies, and it just never finds it. If I use the high density one, which is like the Mac shareware one, I know I'm not showing you, I'm going to my desktop, but if I use this and I go check for floppies, that one, it's going to be able to see and read. So again, for every reason, Basilisk can't see the low density disk, and I think it's because the USB drive is having trouble with the low density format. But if I use the disk file, it does work. So this allows me to be able to use a low density disk using that. All right. We don't want to take too long here, so let's figure one other thing out. So we have Mac disk QL. Can you do a QL? We'd be on a Sinclair ZX TR DOS. I don't know what that is. ZX TR DOS. I don't know. And then there's nothing here for Sinclair. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing I can do for Sinclair. So, all right. So can't do that. What else do I have? I think that's about it. Well, I guess I should give the high density, so I'm going to put a high density Macintosh floppy in there. You'll hear me, okay, and then can I do, again, we're going to do disk image, and is there a Mac, no, there's no Mac high density floppy, so I guess you have to, do you have to specify that as well? Yeah, interesting. So can't do the QL. So I do want to try this one more time. Let me go back to my desktop. Try one more thing here. So I'm here, and I'm going to put the TRS-DOS disk back in here. And the reason why is I just saw something in the interface. I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to go back to my PC. And TR-DOS, I don't know what this is. Is this it? But then again, I don't know what format this should be. TR-DOS. Yeah. I mean, there's this, I guess I can try an image file maybe, and let's see what this does. Oh, I gotta select the B drive because it's the 5 1/4 inch one. Let's try to read it. Yeah. So it's not. Yeah, so I think that's the Greaseweazle is awesome, but if you don't have the predefined stuff, then you kind of have to start playing around with these cylinders and such, and that can be a little bit problematic. But you know, obviously, I was able to get an Amiga ADF, a Mac. I'm sure I can get a QL, and the reason I say this is because if I let me demonstrate this. I go back to my desktop. I can put my QL disk in here, and I can go back to my PC. And here, if I run Q emulator, which is the emulator disk, I can just start. Yeah. And here, if I press F2. And go here and say floppy disk A, you'll see that it's actually able to, yeah, it's actually able to read that disk. So a PC floppy can read the disk, and so Greaseweazle ought to be able to do so as well. But it's just a matter of what is the, you know, what is the incoming format. They do have the ZX. I don't know what that means. And then what is the outgoing format? So it's just something, you know, I assume if you don't know the format here, you can just leave it blank and then just specify the cylinders and all this. And then the output format, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I mean, just looking through this, you've got all sorts of formats here, but I'm not sure what the format should be for, other than disk image, for the, yeah. Anyway, that's the Greaseweazle app. It's kind of a cool app, but let me go back to my desktop. So a little bit of a mess here, but kind of cool that I was able to read some disks, and it was pretty straightforward, especially for the 5 1/4 inch floppies. And this drive is actually very convenient. But that's really all I got for you guys today. So just wanted to share with you my new toy, the Greaseweazle. And yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.